Hi friends, welcome back to Building Our Home Part 2. I kind of think this is a little reminiscent of Gilligan's Island before they set out on their journey. Little do these guys know how much work is ahead of them, but these four men are the four main men in my life, and they're wonderful. So that's my dad, excuse me, my brother Tyler, my sweet husband Justin, and our little Cooper. He's 2.5. He'll be 3 soon. And these are the guys that are just working day in, day out. And, part one was really over the course of 3 months. And we're now into the framing part of this project. We're about a month into framing. So who knows how long the framing portion will be. We anticipate quite a bit more. But so let's just jump on in. So this first picture coming up here is the guys starting on the first wall, and this was pretty momentous. So they gave us girls a call, and everyone who could came out and was watching them. So here they are just putting together the wall.
Cool. Yes, you can see that got a crew of family and friends out, and we're just working with building the first wall. The challenge at this point is you kind of have to check all the concrete work just to see how accurate all the walls were, how plumb they are, how level they are. So our concrete crew did a really wonderful job, but there's still some areas where you have to kind of make up the difference, where there's some inaccuracies in the wall, or some inconsistencies, I should say.
Yep, so here they are. And us girls had to go home before they got the wall all the way up. There was a bunch of them out there, but it was just so darn heavy. It's almost the whole length of the downstairs. And the next weekend, my uncle, my dad's older brother, came out. So there's the guys with my uncle. And we got just a little bit of snow, and we got a ton of rain, and it was windy. And we had a couple weeks there. It was just miserable for the guys out there. So here they are, framing in the rest of the walls, and the inside walls all framed up. Coming up here is our little son Cooper. He thinks he's really helping the guys out. In his mind, he is just part of the crew. And in fact, we bought him some tools, so he has some of his own, play tools. But here he is, just helping his daddy out with his whole little heart.
Yeah, we tried to include him. Definitely, but yeah, so there he is hammering, thinking he's doing something to really help.
And he also helps by just being a good trooper. So this was hanging out with Dad at the Home Depot. And I just love this picture of their two working boots by the back door. And here the guys are starting to put up, what are those called?
Putting up the floor joists. Yeah, so just doing that. We were out there rain or shine, but unfortunately we've been having a lot of rain, and we just get a really cold wind coming off Lake Lowell that we're by. We think during the long hot summers it will really be a nice refreshing thing, but right now it's really making it cold for working out there.
Our little Coop's so cute. He loves singing the ABCs everywhere he's at. So here the guys have our wonderful bedroom wall went up first, and it was so fun to see the view that we get to look at, all the beautiful mountains and the lake outside our room. And they got the sidewall put up. And when I got there on this day, it was just Dad and Justin, but they just got these what are they called?
Oh, they're wall jacks. I was looking online trying to find any way to make things easier, because it's just been, if you can frame a full wall all at once and get it squared up and everything, it really makes things go faster. But then it's so just stinking heavy that if 3 guys can't lift a wall that big, and so ended up finding these devices that are wall jacks, and they were pretty affordable because they just go on 2x4s. So you're basically just buying the wall jack portion, putting some, you can see put some steel rods in them, and just doing that. Each one can lift up to 1,000 pounds, and so this is a 50-foot wall that we're putting up, which we estimated. Wow. We estimated the weight to be anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 pounds. But of course, because one side's sitting on the ground, we're probably only lifting about half that weight, and Sure enough,
But still, it's just so long, you know, for two men to have that almost the entire front of the house, you know.
right.
So I was there, and as I was taking pictures, I just noticed the time, and it really only took like 20 minutes once you guys got your cranks in place and you guys were starting to lift the walls. It went up so fast.
Yeah, like if you look on that wall that's kind of behind us, and you can see there's some spots where there's no, it's called sheathing, but you can see there's no wood on the side of the wall there. That's because we didn't have the wall jacks at that point yet. And so what you have to do then is you have to kind of plan in breaks in the wall, and so you put it up, and so then you end up having to come back later to put up some of that plywood sheathing on there, and so it just ends up being a lot of extra work and hassle and everything. And so it was just so nice having these wall jacks to be able to just have it all go up all at once.
And just the two of you. And I think something that we also really like about them is that it just takes so much of the wear and tear off the guys' bodies. You know, they're working so hard out there, and you know, often it's just Justin, my dad, and my brother, and they're all in just amazing shape, but that's just so much extra wear in their bodies. And even for safety, we felt like this, just for the safety, was we really liked that. So yeah, in about 20 minutes they got that whole wall up. It was pretty remarkable.
Yeah, and it just makes such a big difference when you can get it up. I mean, in general, what I'm kind of learning with framing is anything that you can do while the wall is on the ground is generally just a lot easier to work with. You know, and to make cuts when it's on the ground, to square it up when it's on the ground, to put on the extra sheathing when it's on the ground. It just makes it a lot easier. So with these jacks, we can do basically everything on the ground where it's easier to work, and then just lift up the wall.
So we're feeling bummed out that we didn't have these jacks when we were doing the downstairs walls, but at least we got them for the upstairs walls, and we anticipate all the siblings and my parents, you will all be, you know, building their homes down the road. So we're just so glad that we found something that can help take some of the extra wear and tear off the guys' bodies, and just what a huge safety thing too. So they're not carrying all that weight. So pretty cool. Here the wall is almost all the way up. So I brought the guys some lunch and wanted to come see how their progress is going. The babies are sleeping in the car. And when I got here, they were working on this wall, and now it's all the way up. Pretty impressive. So I'll show you different videos so you can see the progress from when the wall was laying down to going up. But they used 3 wall cranks. You can kind of see up there at the top, and they're pretty amazing. Just my dad and Justin got that entire front wall of the entire front of the house up in took them about 20 minutes. And my dad is estimating that the wall weighs about 2 tons. So, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a ton is 2,000 pounds. So he was thinking it didn't weigh any more than 4,000. Yeah, just the 2 guys and those wall cranks in about 20 minutes. It's pretty amazing. Not bad for a morning's work. There they are. They just put the front of the house up. There's my closet, nursery, front doors, dining room,
We're gonna have to
garage. It's coming. So as we're walking down to the basement level, I'll tell you guys kind of how this project got started. Excuse me. Since we're doing most of it ourselves, Justin, he rented an excavator, and he was out here excavating when it was just raw land. Kind of looked a lot like this, just raw farmland. So he had a tractor out here, and my wonderful honey had never done this kind of excavating before. So it was an adventure, and my dad was on his annual week-and-a-half hunting trip, and that's wonderful, but Justin was kind of just starting on his own and figuring it out as he went. Well, 3 tractors broken later, he didn't break them, they just broke on their own. We think that maybe because of the housing and construction boom, that excuse me, some of the equipment just hadn't gotten the necessary repairs it needed and was just being really overworked. So anyways, in a giant pit of dirt, Justin was just excavating, and by the time his third excavator broke down, my wonderful sweet grandpa he was in the hospital passing away. So he had no support from me here. I was in the hospital with him. And my mom was out of town with all my siblings. They were in Italy, so hard to even reach them by phone. And yeah, like I said, Dad was on his annual hunting trip, and my wonderful honey was in a pit of dirt with a tractor. And that's kind of where we started. And you know what? He never whined or complained. We were just so happy to be able to be starting it on this project. So yes, we eventually got it excavated, and we're just in the framing process right now. So I wanted to show you guys around just a little bit. So they're framing, and in our basement, there's one of our patio French doors. You can see our excuse me, our ceilings are pretty high. I think they're going to be about 10 and a half feet, which is pretty high for around here. A lot of people don't have basements here, but Justin grew up in the Midwest where everyone has basements, and he's pretty used to low ceiling, dark and cold basements. So he said in our basement he didn't want it to feel dark and cold, so he wanted these high ceilings. The guys are working upstairs right now. I'll turn this around and give you a little bit more of a tour. All right, here's our back patio doors, and here's kind of our main living area. We have a little kitchenette nook in there, but I think that'll be down the road where we finish putting in a little kitchenette. A couple bedrooms over there, nice little bathroom. Here's our stairwell. Back here is probably going to be one of my favorite rooms in the house. Probably going to be our guest room, but just nice, a nice big space. And over here, some more patio doors, some windows. So check out this view though, you guys. Oh, this is one of the many reasons we're doing this, and Justin's building it all for us on his own with my dad and my brother. But look at those beautiful mountains out there, just gorgeous. We have a beautiful view of the water, and just breathtaking.